Welcome to Nobody Knows with Joey Johnson, powered in part by Deep Wax Productions and Classic of Denton.
Radio. What's up?
What is up, Denton Radio?
God, I hate you so much. I just went over how much I hate introductions, and you just give us the WWE ringside announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to DentonRadio.com.
.com. Okay, sponsor part. Let's do this. Deep Wax Productions is one of our sponsors, as you all know. Our only sponsor has been. We do this every week for you. And as you know, they promote local arts and other things for kids who dropped out of college to do. Production things to help the community. Look them up, Deep Wax Productions on Facebook. I believe also, is he on Instagram or Twitter? He does both. One of them. No, one he doesn't do. I don't know. Look him up on Facebook, Deep Wax Productions. They throw, like I said, all kinds of shows and events out in the area. Shows and events such as this Saturday, if I can find it. I screenshotted it. Mr. Mark Zimmerman of Deep Wax Productions sent it to me.
Why will you screenshot that for me?
Is that screenshot? I said screenshot.
I know, but is a screenshot
Screenshot? No.
Have you ever heard that?
How you say that?
No, that's wrong.
It's past tense, right? It's like shot is now, shoot is then.
What?
You don't ever screen shoot anything. You're not unless you were taking a picture with your own phone of someone else's screen. Then that's a screen shoot because you're shooting.
I see what he's saying though, because as you're screenshotting something, you're in the process of doing it, so it's not.
All right, back to our sponsor.
Okay, we're coming back to this. Lagerpalooza is happening this Saturday via Deep Wax Productions, as always, over at the Bearded Monk. As the event page says, it says come out for Lagerpalooza, featuring beer from Community Beer Company and others. Pint services will be live screen printing. Kind Beats will be playing some music, the Dolly Rockets, and some other acts. So check them out on Saturday, and then also this Monday, thrown by some of our friends, Kirk Yonkers and Matt Meckelhone with Deep Wax Productions will be doing Monday Night Comedy Movie. I guess they're live. Oh, okay. They're going to be live.
They're making
showing.
a movie?
Are they? Is this making fun of it? I guess
Basically,
Mystery
yeah,
Science.
yeah.
Okay. I didn't know they were doing this. Okay, cool. Yeah, they're going to be showing the Mummy movies, and Kirk, Matt, and I guess some other comedians are going to be sitting, Mystery Sciencing them, making fun of them and stuff like that. So check that out.
Making fun of the Mummy movies?
Yeah, those movies suck.
What? That's
The
Brendan
Mummy?
Fraser. The one time he actually speaks in a movie.
Brendan Fraser sucks, dude.
What? Have you seen him in Encino Man? He's such a caveman.
It's a great movie.
He's a great. Look, the first movie I
In
saw
what
with
movie?
him.
Encino
The first
Man.
movie I saw with him was Encino Man. The second movie I saw with him was George of the
Which one's
Jungle,
Encino Man? Why am I blanking right now?
where he's like a caveman who's trapped in ice, and they have this pool.
Oh,
Pauly
yeah,
Shore,
yeah.
the guy from The Hobbit.
Yeah, Pauly Shore, that's where. Yeah.
That's why I
No.
forgot.
Yeah, that's why I forgot the movie. And Brendan Fraser. No, he's terrible.
So here's the thing about Brendan Fraser.
He had
I
that
thought
butt
that
crack haircut, the middle cut, like the one like just parted your head right down the middle, like everyone from the 90s. Every
had that,
hot
yeah.
dude from the 90s had that.
all the hot guys.
Whatever.
But I knew
All the dudes from the 90s
thought
I
that
wanted to kiss. had.
because he was George of the Jungle and he was Encino Man, and those are the only roles I thought. I thought he couldn't talk. You know what I mean?
No.
And then when I hear him talk, he talks.
Brendan
kinda funny.
Fraser?
Yeah, he has like a weird.
Yeah, he sucks. He's not funny.
He's like, hi,
terrible.
I'm trying to talk. I'm like, what?
He's terrible. The best thing Brendan Fraser did was the remake
Bedazzled.
of Bedazzled because they had
Bedazzled was
Elizabeth
good.
Hurley.
Yeah, she was
Okay. If she had a middle part. I would
Anyways,
kiss her.
those are our sponsors.
All right, yeah, sponsors Deep Wax and that place that they sell you cars, but I don't think any of our listeners can afford one of those. So, yeah, we got an awesome show. We got Zachary Arredondo, a good friend and local comedian here today. And so, yeah, we're going to play that beat music that weirdly makes it seem like we've transitioned into another phase when really Zach's been sitting here the whole time. But, radio magic, people. Here we go.
Da-da-da-da-doo.
You had your own track to that?
What were you going to do? Or were you going to – did you have an intro, Richie? You said you want to go live with an intro?
Can they hear us right now? Should I talk right now?
They can hear you right now.
Oh.
You had a monologue you said you wanted to read.
All right, so here's the thing. People want an introduction to be brilliant. They want it to be something that's like well thought out.
Some could argue that's the only thing people like about this show.
Right?
It's the thing that we've kind of
but they don't understand they don't understand what it's taken. There's a certain toll. You know what I mean? Like if
it's taking a toll on you.
If you build houses
on the online radio show you do 1 hour of out of a week's been taking a toll.
Yes.
That 1 hour work is just killing you.
No, you don't
hurting.
understand. So you know they want it to be brilliant. They want it to be resilient. They want it to be
The intro.
resilient. Yeah, they want it to be the best thing.
Oh,
that they've
was
heard.
this supposed to be your monologue? Wow, you're such a good actor. I thought you were just making stuff up.
So
right now. I thought you were just making this up.
in order to keep the intro
Okay, here we
at
go.
the beginning,
Totally not making. Just forgot the line.
in order to keep the intro at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, that's where most intros are.
Yeah.
Introduction.
So yeah, that was the introduction. I hope that was sufficient. Was that
There
good?
you go.
That was a
All
good
right,
idea.
yeah, it was
he's
good.
got-
All right,
There you go.
Good
job, man.
An introduction by Richie Flo.
Hell yeah.
By the way, introduction means
What does Google
wait,
say?
Actually, I don't know. Can you define introduction right now?
I mean, don't put me on the spot. Make me look into
It
it.
means
No.
introduction
Hey,
and intro.
Defining turtle is hard on the spot.
A
You know what I
turtle is a green sea-like. Is it a mammal that it's in a shell?
what I'm saying.
It's a green creature in a
it's a
shell.
reptile.
It's a green. It's a lizard in a shell. It's a really slow lizard in a shell. Boom.
It's a lizard with a
An
mobile home.
intro. An intro is the.
It's an animal that's
opening,
always grounded.
The opening idea to a complete thought. No, I don't know.
I don't know.
tried. That was good,
Every
right?
teacher we've ever had is pissed.
so
and that's
mad.
what-
Right.
Every teacher I've ever had is mad that I'm
We know what
doing
the
comedy
ending is.
probably anyway.
Oh yeah.
The intro is the introduction.
Yeah, we already established that much.
Right.
But what's the definition of introduction? Give me your best definition of the word.
An
Let's test how
introduction-
dumb we all are because
An
we all
introduction
know.
lets you know the setting and who the development of the characters to begin with, so you understand where the story begins.
Okay, now tell me that for a radio show and not like you were doing.
Welcome
it
to
for
109.5, where our introductions are just merely beginnings to the end.
Yeah. I think I like these intros better. You know, I think just like going in and talking about whatever, as opposed to be like, "Hey, I'm Joey, and I'm here with Zach. Zach, you do comedy. How is comedy? It's funny. Okay, like."
By the way, we are here with Zach Arredondo.
Right?
Oof.
Arredondo.
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 Yeah, not
It's like
Arredondo.
grenade, but
no.
Grenagondo.
Greta Gondo.
That's cool. Did they used to call you the grenade?
Not at all. Not at all.
Have you ever even
Zack
thought of
attack,
the word
usually.
Isn't that what
Zack
they-
attack?
Zack
Isn't
attack.
that what those terribly misogynistic Jersey Shore guys used to call like women they like weren't trying to sleep with? Grenades. Do you not remember that show?
I didn't
Jersey
get to
Shore?
watch it.
There's a new one right now because Lauren watches like all that like really trash reality TV, which I thought was like a terrible thing until I started watching with her, and it's like hilarious and awful. You know, it's not real. They put these kids in like they like feed them infinite
real.
amounts of booze. It's not real. There's no way. They just feed these kids like at like 21, 22, and they can't handle their booze. They just pour liquor down their throats and create these. There's someone pulling strings back there. Like, hey, Kevin said you were ugly. You know, and then like it just starts this whole thing. But it's hilarious. They have this new one. It's called Floribama Shore. Which I don't know, have either of you been to Florida or Alabama?
Never.
No.
Oh, okay, so you haven't been to Floribama, which is a real place, mind you. I've driven from Florida up into Alabama, and there's actually a place called Floribama. And
Sounds
first
awful.
off, to give you like context of what this place is last time the only time I passed through, there was a guy getting out of a pickup truck with 2 prosthetic legs in his walker walking over to his house with like all this Confederate memorabilia. And I was like, oh yeah, we're in Floribama right now. So just think about that. Think about them taking the Guidos of that area and making a show. And it's called Floribama Show. And it's a real thing right now. And it's terrible.
That sounds awful.
Oh, but it's like great too at the same time. I'm talking about it. So obviously I love it because
Yeah,
it's so
but here's the
awful.
thing. It's not actually like here's the thing. Every time there's like a fight at the bar, I don't get involved, but I get right in the front row. Like I don't care what's happening. I don't care if there's like knives.
wanna
And stuff.
watch.
I want to see what happens.
You want to watch it? Isn't it like it's like a terrible like you're
But I'm
aware
saying-
it's like the car accident you can't look away from though. It's kind of like when they say like there's I'm not going to call Floribama art. All right, I'll do this like there's comedy for everyone. There's comedy even for ignorant people. There's people that I don't like and think that are terribly unfunny and even say some hateful things on stage that have an audience. You know what I mean? So there's something for everyone. I think it's kind of the mindset in which you watch it. So like I laugh at really bad comedians when they're on stage, but I'm laughing at different things. You know what I mean? I'm not laughing at what they're intentionally trying
You're laughing
to get
at
me to
like
laugh
his
at.
shoes. You're like, what are those?
Yeah, and that's how I'm watching Floribama. No, not shoes.
That's how I'm watching Alabama.
You just checking out the shoes.
No,
Where'd you get those shoes at?
He's like, what are those?
Oh, God.
See, I think I know it's terrible trash television, but I don't think it makes you a terrible trash person if you're watching. It depends the perspective you're watching from. Now, I think terrible trash people do watch that and get wrapped up in those people's lives. They're like, oh my God, what's Dixie Lee?
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know,
there's people who like, I'm
going
gonna marry. I'm gonna
Dixie
marry.
Lee was the most southern female name I could think of.
There's people that want to
pretty
marry
close.
people that are on that show.
Yeah.
Because those shows birth.
Celebrity infatuation is so weird to me, dude. I don't know.
I mean, I've seen a couple celebrities. And
Were you ever like that? Honestly, like as a kid, who was the person? I'll say it right now. When I was a little kid, I remember, like, I'm talking young. I'm talking, like, maybe first grade, like, when Hanson was first a big thing. I distinctly remember having the thought, like, man, I wish those guys were my older brothers. Hanson's so cool.
Hanson, yeah, I did like Hanson.
I wish.
See, but now I'm so happy those guys were not my older brothers.
I used to wish that Danny Tanner was my dad.
I would have been fine with that, yeah.
Who?
I just wish that Danny Tanner was my dad.
Full House.
Which one was?
Bob Saget.
Oh, okay.
Just
That
so,
would have been great.
just so at least he'd be home.
I don't know if I would. Oh, wow.
Got dark.
Heck yeah.
I'm just kidding, Dad. You were
Shout
there
out Daddy
sometimes.
Flo, wherever you're at.
Dad, you were there sometimes.
Sometimes.
So who was that for you? I feel like that's definitely a kid thing, but it's weird.
I could probably guess who it was for you. I see you as like a Nick Nolte.
No. I did really like John Stamos.
I was about to say
John
that. I
Stamos.
could tell by the hair.
The hair.
I thought
You
John
do have Stamos. Did you used to have the middle part? You used to
I
have the
used to have
perfect hair for the middle part.
I used to, yeah. When you said it, I was like, don't tell
You
Joe.
have great hair. You have insanely great hair.
Thanks.
Can you try? Can you show something with it? Doing
No, I can't. What do you want? The hair flip? I
the
can't.
flip.
I can't
hit,
do
hit,
that.
hit something. I mean, WWJD. What would Jesse do? You know?
I always think it's so like that's definitely a kid thing. Isn't it so weird? You and like an adult, fully grown person has like celebrity. I mean, that's a real thing though. Like
I mean, I looked up
even
to
Lauren.
Houdini
Lauren's
and he was dead.
obsessed with JoJo. Like
Really?
Lauren, yeah, the singer JoJo.
Really?
My girlfriend Lauren loves JoJo. Insane.
I thought that was just a
like
joke,
a
though.
weird. She does.
I
I hate this show so much.
I love whenever I just hear
God.
Jake laughing out of the corner of my ear.
joke. No, she's like obsessed with her, and it's not it's like she's not obsessed in a weird
You're
way.
about to say it's not an issue?
It's not.
It's not
It's
an
not
issue
an
at all.
obsessive. But
It's
I mean,
not like an issue or anything.
no,
is
it's
it?
not.
Cut
That's
out
what.
in
But
the
I'm
closet.
saying. What I'm saying is like I bet there are people that like everyone has things. You know, certain people drink to certain levels. Certain people speak higher than others. Certain people probably have this obsession more than like Lauren likes JoJo a lot and she's a huge fan. But I bet I can't imagine people that like that is like their whole entire like existence is around.
I mean,
Like following people and like
Yeah.
loving them. They don't even know that person.
I have
mean,
a
there's, like,
friend.
YouTube,
I can't say
like-
too much about it, but I have a friend. You know this story. I have a friend. I don't want to get into it here, but I have a friend.
But I'm about to fully
But I'm just
tell
gonna
you
say this,
everything about
I have
this
a
person.
friend who is obsessed with Keira Knightley, and
I
like
don't know this.
basically, he was watching
He?
Pirates of the Caribbean, and he told God to
Oh,
show him
so
his
this is
wife.
like this is like a lustful.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
told God to show him his wife. When he opened his eyes, he was watching Pirates of the Caribbean. So who's gonna be on it?
You did tell me about
Keira
this.
Knightley,
Okay.
and so he became obsessed with her, and ended up
like crazy obsessed.
going
right?
crazy. Has what's it called? Like he's not allowed to be around her and stuff.
She has a restraining
Restraining
order?
order?
Yeah.
No way. See, that's crazy. Can you imagine that as a because like have you ever like looked at like Have you ever come across one of those Instagram accounts where it'll be like a whole Instagram fan page of a celebrity? It'll be like
it's not even their actual page.
No,
it's just some fan.
But it has all the new videos and them even having.
It has every single thing. It has more than what the actual artist's Instagram will have. They'll have all the same stuff.
It has pictures of them from other people's Instagrams.
Yeah.
They'll go and screen shoot it.
It's the weirdest thing, dude. Like, I don't. Do you ever? I mean, Richie, you want that? You want to get to that place?
A fake account?
You would no, not a fake account.
You want to start making a fake account, don't you?
You want a fan account of yourself?
No, I mean like you would totally get off on that if people were.
Here's
that
why
you would love.
Here's why I would, and here's what happens is, you put your music in the background of all your videos, so when other people put that on their stuff, you can get like royalties and stuff like that off them stealing your videos and stuff. And
but like, I'm not talking about from a money aspect. I think you would genuinely get you would love that so much, right? If you had that insane,
yeah, sure, cool. I mean,
famous people get away with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's right.
Do they though, or do you? Well, you also get caught. Like you're also so under a spotlight. Every little thing you do gets.
Yeah, but what I meant by that is like little things, like weird things. Like okay, if you were to go up to somebody and like wanted to hold their baby, that'd be weird. But who was the woman that played Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot?
Well, yeah, of course that would be weird because I'm not Wonder Woman.
Still, she's still a stranger. Yeah, they only know her from. She could easily be like, I want to kidnap your baby.
I'm some kid in a Hanes shirt with a grease stain on it and knuckle tattoos.
If you dressed up as Iron Man.
I know you and you won't let me hold your kid. But you would let Wonder Woman, definitely.
Yeah, probably.
But that's what I'm saying. You would let Wonder Woman.
I've seen you with Kirk's kid. You look great with a kid on your shoulders.
Yo, that was super dope. It was St. Patrick's Day, and Kirk let me put Amelia on my shoulders, and everyone was
like, "We didn't know you were a dad."
This is when I was still drinking.
I'm gonna have a kid. I'm gonna have a kid.
This is when I was still drinking. First off, I'm a dude. No one ever offers me drinks, but once you have a kid, it's the weirdest thing. People just start giving you Jello shots. Like, oh, you have a child to take care of here. You need
this more than I do.
Yeah, but then they're just like impairing you to like drive or whatever. Luckily, I'm not that child's father, it was tight. And it was during that St. Patrick's Day parade, so everyone was throwing everything at us. They would I was using her for the beads, because essentially, they would come over and hand her the beads. Like, they would hand her like 4, and I'd be like, all right, taxing you, and, we'd split them 2 and 2. That's how it works.
That's
Got to teach them young, Kirk.
It's a dad tax.
It is. I'm wearing the dad hat
tax
right now.
You are. I've seen that. I didn't see that.
Right? Isn't this hat great? It just says, for the listeners, dad with a period mark.
I love the word dad.
You know what's funny about this hat is it makes I don't know about you, it makes actual dads really upset. I've realized.
Why? Because you're not a dad? Or
all the older comics, like I wore it to the comedy club the other day, and 2 of them that were dads were kind of like, I didn't know you were a father. And I was like, I'm not. And I was like, I made a joke. I was like, oh, I just wear this to keep the facade that my life's together and someone else's or something. That's like my stock line for this hat. And as soon as I said that to like Ross Day, he like kind of gave me this, and like walked away.
Are you dad posing?
Oh. I don't know. See, is that a
Are
thing?
You a false
dad
dad
poser? A dozer?
Yeah.
I don't know. Lauren's brother said something like he thought it was weird that I was wearing it, and he's a dad. He was like, "Why are you like?" He didn't get it. And I was like, I was like, it's ironic. It's just a dumb.
Like hat. I love the palindrome.
I think the period makes it funnier.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice you were wearing it, and even now that I know that you're, I'm like, all right.
I like wearing it on stage.
But you're a dad. You probably say dad a lot.
Yeah, but he's talking about how people get like weirdly
do you say
upset.
Dad more?
But here's the thing. He probably you're.
Do you say dad more?
Yeah. What do you mean compared to what?
Just than me. How often do you say the word dad?
Well, okay, maybe you're not on something because I don't know what you're talking about.
How often do you say the word dad? You're like, maybe you're on something. Like,
a normal amount?
Spell dad.
Wait, maybe he's on to something. I've never known how to spell dad.
I don't know, just a normal amount, I guess. Anytime anybody would say, I don't go around saying dad. But
what I was going to say is you're so used to the word, maybe just saying it doesn't register.
That's what I'm saying, too.
Like, because
if
you're
you say
a dad
all
you
the time,
see me wearing
like,
a dad hat. You're like, yeah, because your perspective, you're like, I'm a dad, maybe. I know not everyone's a dad.
Yeah, of course,
but
yeah.
like,
how often do you tell people?
Kind of, it doesn't register.
That I'm a dad?
He's saying you say I'm a dad.
Well, you tell someone you're a dad like once a day on stage.
Yeah, like anytime I want to say, usually if I'm doing jokes about my kid, but I'm trying to go away from. I'm trying to write.
Are
different,
you?
A little bit, yeah. I got some stuff that I've been writing.
Why though? That's the best part.
Well, because
not the love and the family and growing and seeing something blossom into a beautiful thing. It's the terrible things you get to say about it.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
the
of course.
best part about me.
Well, when I first started, that was like all I was writing because that's all I knew. I mean, I was literally working like 60-hour weeks and taking care of her and not doing anything else. But
so that's really the only time you had to even like soak in new material was
basically
bothering.
Yeah. So now that I'm kind of getting a little bit better about writing and looking at things differently, I'm like, okay, I still have all this material that I've been writing on and off about, being a dad or her or whatever, but I'm also trying to branch out to like more stuff. I mean,
well, what's cool too is you always have that perspective that you can apply to other things.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And that's tight.
Do you think people are surprised because you?
That's why I hate being a white dude because I wish I had a unique perspective that I could always apply to any material.
You could play younger if you were in a movie, right?
It's a terrible reason not to want to be.
So
white.
I mean, when you're on stage, people are like, "He's not a dad."
Oh no! I've had people come up to me. They're like, "You don't have a kid." I actually had.
People don't believe it. They think you're just
there's
up there.
some people that have come up. They're like, "You don't have a kid."
Comedians are mainly audience members, right? Audience members.
There's been a couple audience. There was another comedian that was like, "You don't have a kid, really?" Like I thought that was just a.
Is that offensive?
Your character? No, not really. I mean, I get it. I look a lot. I'm like, okay.
Wait. Is it offensive to him or to them?
To him. To hear.
No, of course.
For someone to tell you that you don't have a kid.
No, it's a good thing. He looks young. I mean, isn't that?
Yeah, no, I know that. Like, I just looked in the mirror like this morning. I was like, "Jeez, like, oh my god, like really."
Did you look in the mirror and just be like,
"There's
you have a kid"?
Do you look younger than? Are you younger than? I mean, I guess.
Can we talk about it?
Yeah.
When did you?
So he's 29. He has the same thing that Andy Milanakis has.
When I was 20.
When you were 20. Okay, so you were a young parent. Now, when you go to like PTA stuff, I mean,
I
you're
still get weird
considerably
looks.
younger than the parents.
Than most of them. There are some that are like around the same age, I assume. But see, I don't look 29.
Yeah.
See,
so that's the thing.
You're 29?
Yeah, I just turned 29 on Sunday.
So I'm 29.
Do you ever get asked if you're her brother or something?
Oh yeah, all her friends are when she tells them, "Hey, that's my dad," they're like, "No, that's your brother."
so you could probably relate. So whenever
you don't know what a dad is.
Yeah, right.
When I was bullying your daughter at school, you're dumb. You don't know what dads are.
When I was 25, one of my friends, she was like, "Hey, my daughter wanted me to ask you a question because she has donuts with dad on this day, and her dad isn't around. Would you go with her?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll go with her." Like, so like I talked with her, and she was like 8 or 9 or something like that, or maybe she was like younger, like 7 or 8 or something. I don't know. But I was like, "So what do you want to do?" And she was like, "You just act like you're my dad." And I was like,
"Wait, when was
okay,
this?
cool. This is like 3, 4, or 5 years ago."
You were doing what? I'm sorry to backpedal.
One of my friends, she wanted me to take her daughter to Donuts with Dad. She was like, because her dad wasn't around.
To take. Okay, to Donuts with Dad.
So so this little girl was like, "Will you take me to Donuts for Dads?" Because she didn't.
Did you look like this?
Yeah.
This? Okay.
Yeah, but I was like, I was cool.
I mean, Richie hasn't always had the.
So I go to school. I go to this school, and I'm like, it's just me and her like eating donuts and stuff. And she's like, "Can you show my friends magic so that I'll?" Or she was like, "Can you show the kids in my class magic so I'll have some friends?" And I was like, "I'm gonna make you the coolest kid that there ever was."
This is the saddest story.
No.
Ever.
It is though. So here's the thing. I was obviously the youngest dad.
This is how kids grow up to be comedians, by the way. Is your dad takes Richie to take you to Dads with Donuts.
I don't want to do it. Will you do it?
And then uses Richie to
be cool.
Get you friends. And then Richie's not there for the rest of the school year, and you're a nobody. And then, anyway.
It was awesome, though. Like,
sounds a lot
the
like
teacher loved me. Real flirty. All the other dads, everybody else was so old. Yeah, everybody else was super old. Like, they were like, "Dylan, did you get your backpack in your corner?" And I was like, "Are we on the Wild Wild West?" Why was that guy talking like that? People are so old.
Do kids still have cubicles? Is that a thing? Do they still give you
cubicles?
Cubby holes, not a cubicle.
I was like, what kind of school did you go to?
Does it have cubicles?
Cubbies, yeah, she's got her own little cubby.
The cubby hole was I guess that's the younger cubicle, right?
I loved my cubby. I remember I decorated it with a bunch of little
training
locker
training.
It is locker training. You're right, man. I hated lockers.
Yeah, I hated it from the inside.
I still have dreams about school and forgetting my locker combination, and then I'm always aware in my dream though. I'm like, wait, I haven't been to school in like 5 years, and I'm always like, why am I here? I have dreams about school so much.
25, 32, 46.
Maybe I just.
And here's the thing:
maybe I couldn't
get it. If you couldn't get it, all you had to do is lift up and bang on the bottom, and you can open any locker.
What?
And if it was on the bottom, you just lift it and kick it.
Had no
That's
idea.
not a thing.
It is a dude. Trust me, I know how.
That's some Fonzie.
I was like
Saved
the
by the
scam.
Bell.
Let's go break into a school
Disney
right now.
Channel.
Let's go right now.
Boy Meets
No, we're not gonna
World.
do
No,
I was watching all those shows.
you have to wear a leather jacket and some motorcycle boots when you do that. By the way,
That's-
no,
a must.
that's how
Only way.
you steal people's stuff. That's not how you're like, hey, Mary, poof, I wrote you a note. And like, all the notes fall out. It's like, hey,
Let me hear
Steve
your
has
bully.
pudding. We're gonna steal Steve's pudding because we know how to get in his backpack.
I was more
What-
worried about not being around lockers, so I wasn't shoved in them, than
yeah.
stealing them. So I was
See,
like, no.
The secret to not getting shoved into a locker is just I was always like this big. Like I didn't even fit my arm in a locker.
You know the most bully thing I ever did to a kid ever that kind of like goes
Stuffed
down
him in a locker.
No. This was like pre-K, like little kid.
Jeez,
just
you're a
being
monster.
No, like all right.
Are you about to give us
I
what you
was-
did as a bully?
Yeah, absolutely. Transparency, my dog. Because this story is
Then
kind
I
of.
guess I'll share
This
one.
story
next.
is kind of funny because
Okay.
I took this kid's lunch, not from him physically. He just had a Batman lunchbox, and I had like this lame Aladdin one.
Mm-hmm.
So when it was time for lunch, I just took his Batman lunchbox to lunch and just acted like it was mine.
Oh, that's not that bad.
And no, I ate the lunch like right there in the lunch. I
he
remember
I
he
ate
had
lunch.
to get he had to get a tray lunch. And he was like crying, and it was like the worst thing I've ever done. But I just think it's so funny because I remember solely just doing that because it was a Batman lunchbox. Like this man, Batman, who saves people from all types of crime. And I did like the most low life thing.
You've committed
As a
a crime.
kindergartner.
So-
I got in a lot of trouble, mind you. I mean, I never stole again.
So when I was in first grade, there was a girl who always had like cool sour cream and onion chips, right? Well, just one day, and she was like, "Do y'all want some?" And she gave them to everybody, right? And then one day I was like, "Hey, I'll trade you this for those chips." And she was like, "Okay," and she traded me. And then the next day, she was like, "Hey, you want to trade me this for my chips?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And every day after that, she would ask me. And then one day she was like, "Oh, Richie wants my chips. Richie, here." And I was like, "Okay, cool." Well, then one day her dad came and ate with us, and he was like a big, bald, like tattoo guy, right?
That's so funny.
And she goes, "Hold on, Dad, I gotta go give me Richie my chips." And he goes, and she like walks
This
over.
whole
to
year he's been buying chips for Richie. Oh, that's so funny. You know how mad that makes
so-
him?
Oh, yeah.
So, she like comes and gives me these chips, and I'm like, "Thanks." And she's like, "Yeah, no problem." And she goes and sits down, and the dad's like, "Wait, what?" And she's like, "Yeah, I always give Richie my chips." And he was like, "Why? I thought you said you liked them." And she's like, "I never get to eat them." And then she starts crying and like makes up this whole story about me bullying her into getting these chips.
Oh, no.
And so his dad like starts cussing at me. I'm in
She
first
lied
grade.
because she didn't know what
I'm in
else to
first
do.
grade. Like we're old right now, so it's not easy to
Hey,
think
whoa,
about how.
easy, buddy.
No, but it's not
That's a
easy to think
hard
about how
O.
young a first. How
You
old is
signed
your
the contract.
How old is your kid?
8, about to turn 9.
In what grade?
Just finished 3rd.
Just finished 3rd. Imagine 2 years ago, right? The
Yeah,
little
that's how
boys.
that works.
I was a baby. Like I was like, and he's like, "You son of a blah, 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 like you're eating my daughter's chips. We're on food stamps and all this stuff." And I'm like,
He said food stamps
"Yeah."
to you.
I'm like, "Y'all
He
spending
started
food stamps?"
complaining about how poor the family is to a first grader. That's
Yeah.
That's
So
weird. I like
Well,
how
my
you try to
dad-
make it seem like an age
projection.
thing, because
So
Joey
when-
over here was like stealing lunchboxes
No,
when he was
I-
a baby.
No, but when
Here's
my
the
dad-
thing.
my-
I didn't do this because I wasn't a dislike thing. I didn't even like the lunch. It wasn't even. I just wanted the Batman lunchbox, and I think I was just so young and dumb. I thought like, oh, that's mine. It's a thing I like. Like
yeah, you
that's
can
a,
take it.
but my dad ended
I would
up
like to
paying
say I
him.
learned my lesson. I'm not a monster. That's hilarious. Though.
That was the time I accidentally became an accidental bully, which can happen. Like I don't blame all bullies because sometimes you get like there's certain stuff like no one's like, "Hey, shove me in a locker," but
Oh,
there's
yeah.
circumstances like that. There was one time where I did do something pretty bully, but I made up for it later in life. But I took this kid's backpack and I took everything in it and I threw it behind the bleachers. And then whenever he went there
Oh,
to pick it
that's
up, I
bullying.
closed the bleachers and locked it.
Yeah, that's definitely.
That's-
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
You're a liar.
Swear.
God.
You're the new
how-
monster now.
I'm
That's
so
true.
happy we finally found a topic on this show that can make you less likable than me. That's so good.
No, people know I was a bully, but
Normally
you wanna know
everyone
what?
loves you, and
Hey,
I'm the a-hole.
you wanna know
just
what?
As long as
I was a bully to some kids, because I
people
didn't want to
consider
be
me
bullied.
the jerk. This is
Because I didn't want to
wonderful.
be bullied, I would bully, and
I
you know
just
what?
wanted a Batman lunchbox. That's understandable.
He actually like took someone's
Yeah.
stuff, hid it, and then locked him in
It
there when he
gets
found
worse.
it.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
does
we ended
it?
up feeding him some Hershey's, but it wasn't.
But he was really a dog,
It
and
was
he died.
laxatives. So he was back there, and
He was
like.
a dog with a backpack. That wasn't even a backpack. It was just his service dog.
So we technically
harness.
poisoned him. I guess that's
Let me
illegal.
kill his owner. It was just
Anyway.
mild bullying.
Hope he doesn't
Killed the
remember.
dog, the
I hope he
owner.
doesn't remember any of that. No,
Burn
but
the
here's
body,
the thing.
the evidence. Just simple bullying.
I've actually apologized to anybody I've ever bullied, and I've like made
You've
it
reached
right.
out to them, haven't you, on
Uh-huh.
Facebook?
I have
Dang,
friends.
should do that.
I've had friends. Here's a hilarious.
Yo,
one.
what if we could figure out who? How could I figure out whose lunchbox I
Whose
stole
lunchbox was
from
it?
First Baptist? First Baptist.
There's got to be a log somewhere.
Yeah, you
Right?
just gotta call him up. And, hey,
Hey,
this year who was in that
Oh,
class?
this year disciplinary reports for 1994.
I mean, you know, here's the thing. One of the kids that I bullied, that I probably bullied more than anybody, he looks just like me now. Like identical to me. He has the same beard. He's better. He's in better shape than me though, and he like
What does he do? Does he rap?
he's a LARPer.
He's a LARPer?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why he looks like that. That's so funny. You do kind of look like a LARPer.
And he's like whenever I see him, I'm like, dang, I should get some chainmail. Like I can see me wearing.
So you still
chainmail.
see him around?
No, he's from my hometown. But one day I just
Okay.
left him this
What
long
kind
message.
of bullying was this, though? Like just teasing, or was this like straight up what you just
I
said?
can't really say. Like it's like
Oh, it's that bad?
It was
It's
all a
just-
blur.
God,
it was
you're
the
a
worst.
terrible person.
No, it was the worst. Like
Good.
I would like
I'm
be
so
loud
happy
in
this
class.
is a
I was
thing.
really obnoxious in class, and I'd be like,
Let's start at the Richie.
I'd be like, oh
Floyd
yeah,
demise.
you want to like? I'd be like, you know, he'd be reading a book or something, and I'd like pick it up and like be like, oh yeah, you can get this back if you beat me at a read off. Meet me at the flagpole.
A read
Yeah, no, and so I'd have these like publicized.
I've never seen a bully push for higher learning. That's so hilarious.
So we
Read
had
the
like
fastest.
a read off thing where everybody's
Hey,
sitting
you
around.
idiot! We gonna get you learned, or you gonna die.
We're like-
you're gonna pass this SAT, or you're getting a wedgie.
Gets into Yale.
No, for real.
I want to thank.
I would be like, oh yeah.
I want to thank
oh,
Roger, my high school bully. For
Oh, think you're so cool. Like I wouldn't fight people. I would just challenge them. You know what I mean? I guess I was more of a motivational speaker than a bully. I didn't
Just
ever
some
think
sort of
about it.
motivation. I
There
don't
was
know.
one kid that I saw him, right? I saw him. He used to always wear this shirt with all these feathers on it. And I remember just he would
cultural appropriation.
he would
like
actually
feathers. Or
no like feathers like from a pillow.
what?
Like not a
Just
design
had
feathers.
It's just a feather.
He just had a
print?
bunch of feathers
You
all
told
over
me
his
about
shirt
this
from
Why
a pillow.
have we talked about this before? Why have we talked so much about bullying? I feel like
Because you asked me
Are we
how
bullies?
like that I used to get bullied, and I was like,
I feel like you guys need to get some stuff out.
Yeah.
So this kid would
I'm going to
deflect
therapy on Monday.
because he didn't want me to bully. Like obviously he didn't want to get bullied, so he would be like, he'd be like, "Hey man, did you bully so and so today?" And I'd be like, "No." Like he was trying to be on my team about it. You know what I mean? But I wasn't like a
Let's
bully.
do this
I was just
together.
loud and I would say mean stuff. Like I can't even say it.
I
We're
was
on this.
I wasn't a bully. I would just say mean things.
Because I was a kid who didn't have that many friends, but I did once I started being like this
A
funny
bully? Once you started becoming a bully. Wow. Oh my God.
I was watching
love
a lot
that
of-
This is an episode.
I was watching. Hey, I was watching a lot of roasts.
Empathetic didn't hear him.
I was watching a lot of roasts. I just didn't realize that all the other students weren't
Oh.
like comedians and stuff. And they
I'm
just
going to
didn't
make
get it.
shirts. Your new merch is going to be Richie Flo's a bully.
Was a bully. I'm a
Was.
reformed bully. I'm friends with all the kids I bullied.
See,
so what would you say?
You're proof that people can change.
This is like I told you
I didn't-
earlier, and I don't know how to turn this into a bit, but I've been wanting to talk about this on stage about like how my school, there wasn't like physical bullying. It wasn't like physical altercations because it was Flower Mound. It's like a pretty privileged, rich school. And they would, if there was any physical altercations, you'd get fined $300. So
Really?
a fight or any kind of physical harm, they would fine you, and then your parents lose money. And this is a rich, affluent neighborhood.
get
So
beat at
yeah,
home.
you get beat at home. Exactly.
Beat at school, get beat at home. All right.
And so And so what Flower Mound High School's form of bullying was, it was just instead of physically hurting the outer shell of a person, you would just tear them from the inside out.
I think
so
that's
kind
worse.
of just right. It's
worse.
It's so much
you
worse.
You kill somebody.
That's the thing is that's like a black eye heals up. You know what I mean? A bruised ego.
What is that?
A black eyeball.
Okay.
Eyes.
A black eye.
I didn't know where you were going. I was like, come on, guys.
A black eye heals. And but a bruised ego doesn't. Like that's the thing. They tear you apart from the inside. They'll start saying things about your fam. Like I literally bullying in Flower Mound High School was talking about someone else's family going bankrupt or like
who had the most
terrible.
money.
Yeah.
Who could go see a movie Friday night?
Yeah, this one kid told me that I squirmed a lot.
Or
in
gaslighting
class.
people, saying they like make up a thing like, oh, so and so slept with 5 people at that party one night.
Yeah.
And then it ruins their whole high school reputation. That was the form of, it was like Desperate Housewives. That's Flower Mound bullying, where like in front of their face you like smile, and then when they leave you're like.
My school's motto was love, accept, cherish these moments, and so we all just make great moments.
Yeah, and look how you turned out. Biggest bully of the
I
high
know.
school.
We're over there locking people under the bleachers.
Like I'm the biggest
That's
bully.
crazy, dude. That's terrible. That almost, I don't want to be your friend now. That's
No,
crazy.
dude. He got over it, dude.
He got over it. He got over it.
I mean, he got
Classic.
out. I mean, he got out.
Classic speaking for the victim.
He got out.
Classic.
He got out. Yeah.
I mean,
After they cut the bleachers just to get him in
After
there.
they got the jaws of life.
Just to rip him out.
and I'll just say this: we didn't do it specifically to him to do it to him. It's just wrong place, wrong time.
So even worse.
Jesus.
Even worse. Even
Wrong place,
wor-
wrong time
All right,
bullying.
all right. So what is worse, being that bully that you just hate one person so much you bully on them, like Flash in the Spider-Man comics, or what's worse, being like the Christmas Story bullies, where you just bully anybody?
Yeah, so here's
the
the thing.
Roger Klutz of the high. Because I've never actually met a person who was just a bully, just bullied everybody.
No,
But
so
again,
I bullied
like I
the
said, my
teachers.
school was different.
I bullied the teachers, and so I would have to go. They have the power to send you to the office.
So
you
you're
know
just
what I mean?
a bad person.
Yeah. So I had a teacher. I had a teacher who was very easy to draw because of certain features that he had that were just easy to draw, and so
Like what?
I drew and
Like what? What
Just
can you say? Anything without
strange.
being very
No,
problematic?
I really can't. But I drew him,
His
and
nose
I
is very-
replaced all of his pictures in the thing with these pictures and of that I drew of him and his wife, and he was just like not having it. His name was Coach House. Y'all can look him up. But if you want to see, I don't know.
The funniest.
No, but
the
another
names,
thing
all
is
right.
we had a guy who was a sub, and he looked like Santa, right? And he's like, going through the attendance, and I'm like, "Are you checking your list?" You know, because he looks like Santa, and I just keep giving all these Santa jokes, and he's just like hating on me, and he ends up sending me to the office. But I mean, school for me was to build my character, not so much my knowledge. Like
The
I got my knowledge
closest-
from the streets.
The closest thing I have to bullying actually this is a pretty good story. Well, so teen leadership is the elective that you have to take or whatever, and normally it's taught by like a coach or whatever, and it's like a BS class. Like it's almost like guidance counseling for high schools, but it's like an elective that we had to take. But we got this soccer coach, freshman coach. It was his first year, and he was just terrible at it. So he would just turn on movies and just let us like do whatever. And there was a kid who was drawing. Next door was Coach Casillas. So Coach Casillas was kind of a you know what. So
Tony's dad?
People were drawing like pictures of Casillas on the overhead projectors
Loved
or
it.
whatever. Yeah. And so this kid named Garrett Didier, he was always like kind of a troublemaker at school, was drawing on the overhead a picture of Casillas like with a SWAT, like really bad drawing, you know. And Casillas walked in to the classroom to like tell us to like he was like one of those motivating coaches, and I guess he came in to lecture us to be nice to the new guy or whatever. And literally he's doing this in front of a picture of him and doesn't realize it. And so gets out and leaves without even noticing it. Everyone cracks up. Oh, classic high school. And I forgot what our actual teacher of that class's name was, but he goes to like, all right, he goes to actually teach something, tries to wipe it off. Dude didn't even write it on an overhead like paper. He just wrote it on the physical overhead in like a Sharpie. So yeah, that was on there forever. And our class got like collectively punished.
That's awesome.
You're running for everybody.
I recently reconnected with my old ISS teacher. Right?
Yeah, school suspension.
Yeah, I was in
those are
in-school
fun.
suspension a lot. Like that
Me
was
too. What I one time got it for faking drug activity in school. I was paid $20 to snort the sour stuff out of sour Skittles bag. And I did it. And so, this goes into the bullying thing. So I got paid to do this, and I was like, yeah, absolutely, $20, high school, yeah, I'll do that. And so I did it, and there was this girl in the class who was really mean to everyone. She was just like a really bad, like just always a terrible person. And this was IPC. I was about to say ICP. This is IPC class, Integrated Physics and Chemistry. So it's in one of those lab classrooms, and you have the tiles on the floor. And so she said something really rude to me in class that day. And after I had snorted that Skittles, I had a bunch of Kleenexes like on my desk. So I said to some kid in class, I was like, hey, slide me her purse. So I put all those dirty Kleenexes in her purse. So after class, she gave me like the meanest look ever. I remember leaving, and I got called out of football that day. Got in-school suspension for 5 days for impersonating drug activity. And the whole time they were actually trying to – it was like the one day I had sour Skittles. Normally I'd get like chocolate bars or whatever, and I would just put them in the little water bottle holders in the backpack, you know? Real like high school white trash crap. And so my – principal is going through the candy because they didn't believe me that was just sour Skittles, and this just happened to be the one day I threw away my candy wrapper.
Oh man!
So they tried to pin me for doing drugs in class, and I was just like, no. So it was awful. So I got 5 days of in-school suspension. Since I got pulled out of football, that was like 5 days of like after practice, like just terrible stuff I had to do.
See, I never did sports. They wouldn't let me. But there was a day where my friend,
that's probably
his girlfriend was like, "Hey,
bullying was your sport."
Yeah, that was
this girl told her boyfriend, "Hey, hold my purse. I'm about to go in the restroom." And so she like held his purse. And while that was happening, me and my other friend, we were just like, "Hey, come here." We were like doing something shady, I'm sure. And we told him to come to the restroom. And when he did, this principal, this huge principal, just saw him and us walking in there with her purse. And so he goes, "What the hell are y'all doing with that purse?" Blah blah blah. And we're like, oh, we're not even – what we're doing right really is way sketchier than him just holding his purse. But so we ended up just – my friend was like – knew that if we got in trouble for the purse that it would – they wouldn't look at the other thing. And they were like – he was like, we're just stealing this purse. And so we ended up going to the office. We went to the office, and they started lecturing with us. And he's like, are you going to call your mom? And I was like, yes, but she doesn't like when I call her at work. I already know, though, I'm going to lose Nintendo. And I didn't even play Nintendo or anything. And they were like, I kept saying all this dumb stuff that my parents were going to take away from me.
Sympathy card.
I was like, they're going to take away Nintendo, and I haven't even gotten to play, like, in weeks. And they're like, what? Like, and then by the end of it, she ended up telling them, like, no, that's my boyfriend, and he was just holding my purse. And so they like.
Speaking of sketchy bathroom stuff in high school, Zach knows this story. I mean, you might even, too, about how Matt McElhone, he's like a comic, does open mics here, he hasn't been on the show yet. Me and Matt, like he does comedy now locally, but me and Matt went to high school together, and we had an English class together, and there's this kid named Jake Haley. To give a little background, I like how we're just name dropping people. I don't care. He's a terrible person. He was arrested in like one of that like heroin ring that happened, like the 17 kids in Flower Mound. He was like the epitome of a bully, and he was really good at manipulating people into doing things he wanted, and he was kind of a big dude too, like you weren't going to mess with him. He was like the first guy to have a tongue ring, so you're like, whoa, watch out, this guy's he's hard. He's got a tongue ring.
Probably cried when he got it too.
But in high school, you're like, oh dang. Yeah. So it was like him and this kid named Shane, and they were talking about how they were going to start a fight club. And me and Matt said opposite end of each other in class.
I don't think we're supposed to be talking about this.
Me and Matt weren't even friends. What?
We're not in the club, so it's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
In what? What club?
You can't talk about fight club.
Whoosh. Wait, what can we not talk about?
I just forgot what I was talking about. So I was like, wait, what was I talking about? So like we're sitting on the opposite end of class, and Jake Haley this whole time is like, hey, Matt and Joey are gonna fight, and they're like amping people up for this fight that me and Matt were like, we are kind of a thing. So we get out of class, and I remember it was third period, and we were on that block schedule. You had lunch in between a period or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's lunch period, and Jake walks up to both me and Matt, puts his arm around both of us, and like kind of. He like guides us in the bathroom. I don't know why neither me or Matt said no. It was that peer pressure high school thing, you know.
Wait, where is this going?
We got put into the bathroom essentially, and people were like, "Fight, fight, fight!" And like me and Matt are not mad at each other at all. There's no reason for a fight, and you know how I am. I'm like, this is so stupid. Like,
And then Matt hits you.
well, no, listen. And so there's this kid, and like we weren't. It wasn't gonna happen.
You should have saved this for when Matt's here.
It wasn't gonna happen. And then this kid named Bub was in the stall, and he hears Jake. He goes, "Jake, that you?" And he goes, "Yeah, Joey and Matt are about to fight." And you just see Bub's head pop over the stall. He's like, "There's a fight?" And so Bub makes it worse. He comes out of the stall, and Bub was always looking for a fight. So it gets to a point where Bub kind of pushes me into Matt. And then Matt pushes me, and then I was like, and I pushed him back, and then we start fighting. And I mean, it wasn't like, and this is just gonna sound like a guy, like this is gonna sound like a fishtail, but it got to where I knocked Matt on the ground. Like there was hardly any.
We're gonna ask him when we have him on.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine because what distinctly happened from my memory, I knocked Matt on the ground, and then everyone ran, and I think that was maybe there was only like 1 or 2 punches landed. Like I got him on the ground, everyone ran away. I helped Matt up, and we walked to lunch together. While comically, Matt was like complimenting my fighting. I distinctly remember walking to the lunchroom and Matt be like, "You're pretty fast, bro."
Oh my, that sounds like Matt too.
Yeah, then the way he said it. And so oh my God. And then he showed up, how long has Matt been doing comedy now? Maybe a few months now?
Yes,
since October?
5, 6, 7, 8 months maybe.
So yeah, I walk into Bearded Monk, my open mic one day, and see him sitting there, and it all came back to me, and I was like, oh my God, how embarrassing. Like, and me and him have talked about it since, where we know we were pressured into it, but I was just like, oh my God, like I punched this kid onto a ground in a bath. Like I felt so, I wasn't gonna say anything, and I kept hoping. I remember sitting there like, please don't be doing stand up, please don't, just because. And now I'm happy Matt does stand up and we're friends and stuff, but at the time I was like, please, I just didn't want him to be around because I was so embarrassed about the situation, you know.
So y'all weren't like
it's so funny
before?
how that
y'all
comes
were like
full
friends?
circle. I mean, like we knew each other, and like I think me and Matt had a few classes together, but we weren't like, we never really, I don't think, hung out outside of school and stuff. And so that's why it was weird seeing him at Monk, and I didn't want him to not do, like, now I'm happy Matt does stand up and he's around. He's a cool dude. He comes over to my house all the time, but it was just weird at first, like seeing him and just being like, because dude, I'm the kind of person, like, I've changed so much weight and hair. People can never recognize me, especially people that went to high school with me. You're not going to recognize me at all. And so if I see someone from high school that I don't want to talk to, I won't even try and catch up. I hate small talk. I hate all of that. I will just act like I'm a different person, and it doesn't matter.
I feel the same way.
That's weird. That's
weird.
That was weird. I don't know. I know a lot of people don't like small talk, but I like small talk. I like watching other people get.
You like weather talk? Like, hey.
No, just like I like small talk mainly to see when people get uncomfortable because they hate small talk. So for me, it's just kind of like, I know you hate this, so I'm gonna keep doing this.
Yeah.
But
see, I'll give them the face.
You like to watch them squirm.
Kinda, yeah.
I start conversations with people that they can almost follow, but there's just something that they're missing that they don't really know how. I'd be like,
sometimes
man,
if you power
the Bugles this morning were awesome. Did you read about that?
I think that's why podcasting when I started out was kind of hard for me, because you kind of have to start with something small. It kind of starts with small talk and builds into something more, you know, like a
exactly. If you power through it, you eventually find something, and then boom.
Mm-hmm. I feel like the narrative of this episode is high school. But what I was trying to say before,
before we do get it, were you bullied ever a lot?
Not to like in.
Is that what you were gonna kind of get at?
Did people say you look young because you looked like 12 when you were 16?
Well, no, but when he looked young, he just looked young.
I was a lot like, I'm skinny now, but I was a lot skinnier and a lot shorter. It was in elementary school. Really, every day after school, I would
wait. In elementary school, you were shorter?
Well, obviously, but like super, like I didn't grow.
Let me tell you, older. I was a short kindergartner. Really? I was a little.
You want to see an old?
I was a little kid in kindergarten.
But no, after I get out of school, I'd ride my bike home, and I would always have there was these 2 brothers that would always chase me. But they would chase me up to the point where it was like in a gated community when we got out.
You're like, and
was
I
this
kind of
like
liked
a
it.
game though, or
Like, did
No,
you like
I
it?
hated it. I hated it. I hated it
But
so
they liked
much.
it.
They loved it.
Zach attack!
So we'd get out.
What is the book about the guy who hunts the other human? Most dangerous game.
Yeah,
or
most dangerous
whatever
game.
it
Yeah,
is?
that's what it is.
So I knew that when I get off the bus stop, but I have to go through this forest. But there were these two boys waiting for me, and they chased me up the hill.
The way you describe it as a grown man's hilarious. So there were these two boys who always chased me. I hated it.
I hate it. No, it's just.
What was the? You have a nickname, right? But what was the pick name?
Wait, let him talk about the boys.
What the boys
What
call
the
you?
boys call you?
The boys called me. Them boys back in the day.
My
It's
boys.
the Johnson twins.
Like midget, shorty.
A hard mid.
Yeah,
Dang.
yeah. Oh, is that
They
we're
weren't
getting-
very PC. They
Oh
were
no,
like,
of course. This was in the '90s.
you little person.
you look
not.
Native American.
What is that? Dwarfism? Like,
Not at all. No,
the
but yeah,
technical term.
I would never after that
Technical
though.
term dissing is hilarious.
That'd be funny.
Using the act, yeah, that'd be really funny to watch someone actually do that, like, and be serious about it, not just ironically, but actually. It wasn't really high school. Wasn't that way. It was more of just like people would pick me up and be like, "You're so light and so small, like I could beat you up and just I could kill you," and then they'd set me down and walk.
Did you not
away.
like that?
That's kind of what I do to my cat. Like, I'll hold it and I'll think, I was like, I could injure
I was like the
life.
high
I
school
won't. I
pet.
love you.
I used to pick up a lot of people, but I felt like they liked it.
No, I mean, well, not being saying, "Hey, you're so small, like I could kill you."
No, I would.
Yeah,
I'd be
of
like,
course,
do
do
it.
it,
So
please.
tiny, Brandon.
I
Do
still
you
like
eat?
the idea of the politically correct bully. Like, what
Yeah.
are you, clinically depressed?
But that was
Things rough at home.
Have you taken your soul off today?
parents getting
Idiot.
divorced.
ADD.
There was a really awkward moment in my freshman year, though. It wasn't even like towards me. There was a kid, Justin Skinner. We had heard that our
Name drop again.
Oh yeah, I'm
Skinner.
totally. I don't like. But anyways,
Take that, Skinner and J.K. Lee.
yeah, right.
Scumbags.
Oh no, it's Skinner.
We found out the teacher, I guess, got arrested for technically terrorism when she was like in college, and we didn't know like what it was exactly.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's so.
Hell yeah.
What turned out, okay, so he asked her, and he was just out of the blue because he was one of those, he was kind of a douchebag in high school at least.
Nice.
And he just out of nowhere in the middle of class.
Any guy with the last name Skinner. I don't know.
I agree. He's just like, hey, so we all heard that you were a terrorist?
A terrorist?
And then everybody just, whoosh, and she just kind of looked at him like, go to the office. We found out it was because she was protesting something, like something
Yeah.
that you should have
Yeah,
been protesting,
yeah, yeah.
and they arrested her for it, and that was it. And it was just like, ever since then, he actually got transferred to another class, I think.
I've always thought it's weird when people go and teach at their old high schools. Like there was, I'm not gonna say what her nickname was, but we had our teacher, and her first name was Liz, and she went to the high school, and so there was a really fun, and she was apparently a very, very out there high schooler, and ended up teaching at the school. And I don't know how many of my friends went to the principal's office for calling her the nickname.
Yeah.
I assume
That
you can't
kind of
say it.
sounds like her name. Yeah,
Okay.
and so, oh my god, I don't think I could ever. Like, if I was teaching at my school right now, the things that could surface, like, at your job, at your place
I think
of
that's
work,
everybody though. I don't think there's nobody that just, except for, I don't know.
that's not for everybody. That's only for teachers, because it's like, that's only in that certain situation, like, where you would go
wouldn't-
back to the school you went to school. Like, working for the school that you went to school to is obviously a teacher-specific thing, right? I mean,
You'd have to really want to be a teacher. Like, I got to change this place.
you'd have to really love that school, to be honest. Like,
You'd have to really want to be a teacher and love that school.
way to add on to that
Yeah,
thought.
you did a real good job on that one.
Well, I gotta get out of here soonish. Zach, what do you have going on, man? Plugs, stuff going on soon?
Ooh, you just hit me on. You just Harvest House, the 25th.
Harvey's house?
Harvest House.
Oh, Harvest
Yeah.
house.
Oh, nice. Is
I'm
that
you're like, I'm going to my friend Harvey's house.
Yeah, we're gonna barbecue. We're gonna watch some TV. play
Okay,
some video
cool.
games.
25th at Harvest House. Do you
Yeah.
know the time?
9. Do you believe?
9?
Yeah, 9 o'clock. It just got set up recently, so I haven't had all the details.
Nice.
So. And then the 27th, doing again, just got set up the West Corwin's 6-piece deal.
Nice.
So I'm
Okay,
doing that
cool,
as well.
cool,
so
cool,
far
cool.
that's pretty much it.
All right, so 25th, 27th. Check out Zachary Arredondo on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. What's all that?
Twitter, pretty much. Z Arredondo 117.
Cool. How do you spell Arredondo?
ARREDONDO.
You had to think about that. Richie,
Wow.
plugs.
Can you put that picture up of my face? Just
God.
on Friday, I'm doing a wrestling thing. I'm doing a concert at a wrestling show. And then on Saturday, I'll be at Viva's Lounge for the Naughty Magic Show.
All right.
So I'll see you there.
Can we take off Richie's face while I do my plugs? Because I want to get some sleep tonight. Jeez.
I like how my face is like right there next to it.
God. You're the only person who could be so into themselves and still be my friend. Lagerpalooza is this Saturday at the Monk. Check it out. Deep Wax Productions will be promoting it on their Facebook page. Monday night is the comedy movie night with Matt McElhone, who I faced in a bathroom, and Kirk Yonkers, who I will be facing next week in a bathroom. That's what I'm going to start, a comedy fight club where I just
Should do that.
take on like backyard wrestling just in bathrooms. And whoever loses has to quit comedy.
Oh. All right.
I was about to say
Every
someone's
Thursday,
name.
Killer's Tacos. Every Sunday, Bearded Monk. And August 1st, there will be a show Backyard on Belt. So yeah, that's plugs. This is every Wednesday. Nobody knows.
New bat time, new bat channel.
Oh yeah, that is a thing, huh?
We have a new bat channel and a new same bat channel,
Same-
new bat time.
We're gonna start going live on Thursdays at 5. Well, not at 5:30. We're gonna figure out a time. Did we figure out a time, Jake? Did we set one? No. What time
Stay
works for you,
tuned.
Jake, on Thursdays? It's got to be a decent amount of time before.
Well, not right now.
We'll figure it out. But Thursday, watch out next week. Well, and this one will be coming on tomorrow live, too. I don't know. It's Wednesday today, and you're watching this on Thursday.
but we're live.
But we're live.
See
We're
you in
all
the future.
See you tomorrow today.
See you in 2019.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. We want to invite you to join us on Facebook and check out our friends Deep Wax Productions as well as Classic of Denton.